A very good morning to you, Kenyan citizens. Welcome, and this is the Current Affairs segment, your trusted source for the latest news, insightful discussions, and impactful stories shaping our nation and beyond. I'm Angela Kabete, and together with Mr. Kimotho, we'll dive into the latest headlines and uncover the truth behind what has been happening that is in our country and beyond. So make sure that you stay tuned as we break it down right here, right now. Mr. Kimotho, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're where you're blessed.
Kabisa.
Baridi, ujapatwa na homa, Mungu amekulinda. You're keeping warm.
Tunashukuru Roger sasa kwa kila hali na nyakati. Lazima tunaadopt na Mungu anatusaidia.
Yeah, and also adjusting, right?
Yes.
Salimia watazamaji.
Nataka kuwasalimia na kuwashukuru kwa vile wamekuwa pamoja na sisi. Na pia kuwakaribisha kwenye show wajumuike tuangalie ni yapi ambayo yanaendelea. Karibuni sana.
Ni yapi yaliyomo. But before anything else, it is always our norm to give it that is the verse of the day. And today's verse comes from, that is Colossians 3:15, and this is what it says. Let the peace of Christ rule your hearts, since as members of one body, you are called to peace. And be thankful. So, in the kusema that let the peace of Christ, that is the first statement in Imeanza. So it means that when we are in Christ, there is calmness, okay? There is inner rest that comes from trusting and walking with Christ that is in our lives and in our lives as Christians, okay? And also there is stability and assurance in Christ. And then in the Lexema, let the peace of Christ rule your hearts, okay? It means that we as believers, we as Christians, we need to let Christ, the peace that comes from Christ, govern our emotions, the decisions, and the reactions. So ask yourself as a believer, as a Christian, everything, every decision that you make, either family-wise, academics, ikifika kwa kazi, and everything that you do you involve Christ in those decisions? Do you allow Christ to govern your emotions and everything that you do? Because inatuambia role in your hearts. And then inaendelea kwa kusema, since as members of one body. So it reminds us as believers and Christians that we are all part of one spiritual family, that is the body of Christ, and that's why we are called to live in harmony, peace, and love. And then inaendelea kwa kusema, you are called to live in peace. You're called to live in peace as believers. So we need to love each other. Alafu inamalizia kwa kusema, be thankful. It means that gratitude keeps our heart and soft and peaceful each and every day. And another thing, we're reminded to be telling God thank you, even for the little thing, even for waking up in the morning. Instead of complaining, this ain't working out, why don't you thank God for the little things that are working out in your life? And that is my take. What about you, Mr. Kimotho?
Yeah, just to add on that, it's just vile ambavyo nimesema, peace in your heart. So it means that when you have peace in your heart, you'll be able now to focus. And also just to add on it, just on the fruits of the Holy Spirit also, zitakusaidia. Sababu, there are so many small factors ambazo huwa tuna assume na ndizo zinatusaidia, because when you have peace in your heart through Jesus Christ, that is when now you'll be able now to do the other things. Then above all, be thankful. Yeah. Don't take things for granted.
Watu complain kunanyesha sana. Tunataka jua.
Yeah, the other nation ambayo pia temperatures ziko juu, kuna jua, kuna nchi ambazo huwa wanapokea safari 2-3 ni mvua kwa mwaka.
Ni winter.
Kuna wengine saizi kuna kwingine bado kuna vita, kuna kwingine kuna mambo mengi sana. So let us be thankful. Wakati tunaamka na tunapata mambo ya hile hali ambavyo yalivyo, tunashukuru.
I agree.
Yes.
And that is the verse of the day. And now let's head over to what has been happening. I have the Daily Nation with me.
I have the Standard newspaper.
Okay, and on today's Daily Nation, these are some of the highlights of what we'll be checking out. Tutaangalia, that is the health sector. Tutaangalia SHA, and then we check it, that is politics. Alafu tutaangalia mambo ya education and sports. What about you?
Yeah, nikiona pia kuna politics, education, kuna SHA, kuna among some other stories ambazo ninaona ziko hapa.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's start with the Standard, right?
Kwa gazeti la Standard, jana kuna list ambao walikuwa wameangazia watu ambao wanafaa wakuwe honored. Na ilikuwa tu bado imeangazia kwa gazeti la Standard. And according now to that list, hata wakati nilikuwa tu ninaipitia hata kama sikuisoma, niliangalia kulikuwa na so many members of parliament, the senate ambao walikuwa wanafaa wapewe that is nini hiyo honors. And today gazeti ya Standard imeweza nao ku highlight the same story, na na imeweza kuiangalia kwa uangalifu kwa gazeti la Standard page 4. Question linger over integrity of nominees listed for state awards. So kuna ile award ambayo president huwa anapatiana, na kuna committee ambayo huwa inaangalia ni akina nani ambao huwa wanapatia awards. Na in this award that is inakuwa that is featured in different that is format. So according that is to the National Honors Act, those who are to be conferred with the honors should be persons who have made an exemplary contribution to the country or to the county, that is in economic, social, scientific, academic, public administration, governance, sport, journalism, business, security or other fields. Na nikiangalia pa gazeti la Standard inaweza kuangazia ya kwamba that is kuna some of the leaders ambao wamekuwa nominated hapa, na imeleza a lot of questions. So the country has been thrown into a spin following that is a publication of the controversial shortlisting by Parliamentary Committee of National Heroes being considered for state awards. So hii award that is normally huwa tunaangalia kuna wale watu ambao wanakuwa featured. Kuna mtu ambaye alifanya kitu mzuri, kuna mtu ambaye maybe kuna kitu ambaye alijitolea na akaweza kufanya. So some of the names ambazo zimeapia hapa, some of the proposed persons for the national honors includes that is John MP John Waluke Sirisia, Freda Kapondi, that is MP that is Mount Elgon, Didmas Baraza, Kimilili, William Kamket, Tiati, John, that is Kirago Rimuru, Senator Wahome wa Matangi, Nyeri, Ledama Olekina, Narok, who have been in the past found themselves in the wrong side of the law. For example, kama that is John Waluke Silisia MP, kuna kesi bado ako naye that is kule kotini ya corruption. Didmas Baraza pia naye the same thing, incitement na corruption case. Tiati MP juzi pia wakati wa demonstration tuliona yale maneno ambayo that is waliweza kuyaongea. So it raises a lot of question ni kwamba ni akina nani hawa ambao wanafaa kukuwa fitted ama wanafaa kupewa these honors, because that is kuna nini the award ambayo inaitwa the Mode of Honor, that is a chief of order of the burning spears are several elected leaders who have been in the past being accused of murder, hate speech, embezzlement and public resources. So tukiangalia kulingana na ile category ambayo inafaa watu wapatie hizi honors, lazima ukue kuna kitu ambao umefanya ambayo imechangia to economic, social, that is scientific. Ukiangalia mambo ya social, some of these leaders wamekuwa na incitement na mambo mengine ambayo yamekuwa nayo pale. Kuna some of hata mambo economic na mambo mengine kama ni mambo na corruption. So ina raise a lot of question ya kwamba ni akina nani hawa ambao that is wanafaa wakuwe that is wapatio that is his honors. Unajua nao hizi honors that is iweza kupatiana that is during now the Mashujaa Day ambayo tunaelekea, that is nini celebrate. Unajua Mashujaa Day just from the word itself inamaanisha kuna mtu ambaye alijitolea ili aweze kupigania kitu fulani na ikaweza kusucceed. So whenever now kuna list of these names ambazo zinaonekana hapa na tunashindwa kwani ni category gani ambao wanatumia for selection, because kuna some of the Kenyans in fact tulikuwa na expected ya wakimbiaji ambao wamekuwa kishinda wakuwa wapatiwe pia tumekuwa tukiona of late kuna watu ambao hata Harambee Stars pia wali kwa sababu nikiangalia pako kuna category ya that is a sport, mambo na journalism sijui kama wako ama kwa hiyo list pengine waliweza tu kulist, I don't know, but tumekuwa tukiona that is the media vile ambavyo imekuwa ikionekana maybe na criticize the government, but we don't know. Na pia tukiangalia hapa kuna mambo ya business na mambo ya security and other fields ambazo ziko pale. So ina raise a lot of questions, because ukiangalia hata wengi ambao wamekuwa awarded ama ambao wamelistia kukuwa na mini ni wale ambao watu wanaohusikana na government. Because ukiangalia hapa kama kuna majority that is the majority whip Sylvanus Osoro pia ambaye pia atapatiwa. Tukiangalia hapa pia bado kuna minority whip ambayo ni Junet Mohamed. Hao wote ni watu ambao ni wa broad based government. So tukiendelea pale bado unakuta that is kuna deputy speaker ambaye ni Gladys Boss Shulei, kuna Narok that is that is a senator Oledama. So ukiangalia hii list bado nikizidi tu kuisonga na kuiangalia pale inaoneshana ni kama ni watu ambao that is ambao wamehusikana na government, but we are yet to see what is going to happen because Nigeria imereziwa saizi na pengine hizo siku bado hazijakaribia. Maybe kuna wengine watawekwa pale kwa list, but it is good that whenever kuna hizi achievements wacha ni vizuri ziweze kupatia wale watu ambao pia wanafaa. Tusemi hawafai, but kulingana na zile kesi ambazo wamekuwa wakihusishwa nazo ndio zinafanya watu wanakuwa na so many question the reason as to why the criteria and such that is a comments ambazo tunaona from Kenyans.
Yeah, and probably they explain to people the criteria that they use. Yeah.
Unajua hapa nimeona unajua kuna ile identification of the areas because hapa nikiangalia tu nikirudia wanasema huwa wanaangalia that is mtu ambaye amefanya kitu beyond either in the country or in the county, na some of this category kuna economic, kuna social, kuna scientific, kuna academic, kuna public administration, kuna governance, kuna sport, kuna journalism, kuna business, kuna security, all other fields ambazo ziko pale. So maybe for example wangetuambia tuseme for example kama ni Didmus Baraza is just an example, amepatia hii award kwa sababu kuna kitu fulani pengine aliweza kufanya. Maybe for example wangeweza kutuambia that is Aledama kuna kitu fulani alifanya ndio maana ameweza kupatia hii award. Na tuseme watu wasipatie award, by the way watu wanafaa wapatie award, but ni vizuri pia hii award iko na uzito yake. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Away from that, on the Daily Nation page 1, as I had mentioned that TVs will check out the health sector, and I can see they're saying that SHA, more pay, less benefits, and they're saying that cancer patients suffer pain of inadequate cover. And they can see hapa wameka watu kadhaa different people who have given out their stories. And naona hapa the cancer people, also cancer patients protesting outside Afya House in Nairobi, while they presented a petition yesterday calling for an improved oncology package under the Social Health Authority. Na watu wameshika to flyers tofauti. Kuna moja imeandikwa cancer can't wait, fix SHA now. Still kuna mwingine ameshika hapa yenye imeandikwa that SHA must work, SHA lazima iwork. Then lastly kuna bado mwingine hapa imeandikwa that we need working radiotherapy machines in public health facility. In addition to that, they say that 1 year after the launch of the Social Health Authority, which is funded by the hefty statutory deductions on workers' income, cancer patients are demanding a better oncology package, saying the current scheme is insufficient. Many say they are forced to pay out of pocket for life-saving care. Those unable to pay have to abandon treatment after exhausting their cover. That story is in page 4. This is very sad, right, Mr. Kimotho?
Yeah, it is very sad because pia nikiangalia that is a Gazette la Standard. Nikiangalia pa page 2. SHA faces collapse over 76 billion hospital debt. That is a lawmakers ambao pia wanaona. Nikiangalia hapa kuna demonstrators ambao that is members of Kenya Networks of Cancer Organization protest and outside parliament yesterday. Na nikiangalia pia hapa that is kulingana na ile mtazamo ambao ninaona hapa, the financial woes surrounding that is the SHA authority amounts to 76 billion. The bills ambazo zinaclaimia pale. Now he now includes areas owed to hospitals under the rural and urban private association. So now according now to the legislators, that is Onesimus Ngogoyo, that is Kajiado North MP, na wale MP wale wengine ambao walikuwa nao pale walikuwa nasema if the battle that ultimately forces the dissolution of SHA if not addressed. So ukiangalia pia nao wanaona ya kwamba kuna issues ambazo zinatokea pale na kuna maswala ambayo yanafaa yaangaliwe pale because hizi unajua haya hospitali lazima ya claim, lazima yaitishe that is hii pesa yao. At the same time unajua tukiongelea tu bado maswala ya health unajua hii effect ya SHA and everything else in affect that is all on ini, that is many hospitals ambazo ziko pale. And that's why pia nikiangalia hapa kwa masuala bado ya health, naona pia hapa kuna madaktari ambao bado wako on strike. Na kuna agony for family after losing newborn amid that is a doctor's strike. So a expectant mother loses that is babies in public hospitals as doctors strike. So the county government and the doctors union point fingers at each other. So ukiangalia bado kuna the union bado zina point the fingers, ni huyu shida, ni huyu shida, ni huyu shida, ni huyu. Whenever this issue is not addressed, yule mtu ambaye anaumia ni mwananchi, because huyu mwananchi kama for example hao ambao pia wako na maisha that is kuna issue ambao kuna mambo na maternity oncology na mambo yale mengine ambayo yako pale, yule mwananchi ambaye anaenda ku seek services, huyo mwananchi ndiye anajipata kwenye hali ambayo ni ngumu sana. So the blame game wakati inatoka kwa government, wakati inatoka kwa SHA, wakati inatoka to the committee of health, wakati inatoka to the that is ile muungano wa madaktari na wale wengine, they need to calm down and and sit down and come up with a conclusive that is agreement ambayo itaweza kusaidia that is wa Kenya. Still bado at the same issue mambo na health. Nikiangalia hapa kwa gazeti la Standard, teenager stuck in hospital over medical bill after heart surgery. So kuna huyu kijana ambaye kuna huyu that is a teenager ambaye anaitwa Award ambaye alifanyia that is a heart surgery after battling several heart complication for 4 years. Aliweza kufanyia surgery pale that is at Enwek Mission Hospital ambayo na ikasucceed na ikakuwa na ikakuwa iko sawa, but before that alikuwa that is ameweza kufanyia some treatment that is pale Kenyatta, na hii surgery yake ili cost 1.7. But the good thing pia na SHA hata kama bado that is iko na challenges, tunaona hapa that is now kulingana ile information ambayo inatolewa pia na the family, that is we had an order on the Social Health Authority which cleared. So SHA hapa iliweza kuwalipia 900,000 so kwa ile bill ambao that is ya 1.7. pia Awel Wisha akadonate 400,000 na pia now the bill imebaki ya 450. So ukiangalia hii system inamaanisha kuna some of the advantages ambayo iko nayo, because kama that is SHA iliweza kulipia that is huyu mtoto ambaye alikuwa na bili 1.7 ikaweza kumlipia 900,000, so inamaanisha kwamba the system itself is very good. Wakati inakaa chini inafaa analyziwe, inamaanisha kama ingekuwa inafanyia hivi hadi hawa watu wengine that is wa cancer na wale ambao pia wana face issues to do with dialysis, inamaanisha hii kitu inaweza saidia vizuri sana, because ukiangalia tuko na registered numbers of Kenyans more than 26 million. So inamaanisha watu wako willing that is kuregister ama that is kujihusisha na SHA, because for example sasa ukiangalia hapa this is a good thing, because hauwezi expect ya kwamba SHA inaweza lipa hiyo pesa yote, but hapa tumeona imelipa, because most of the cases tumekuwa tukiona watu wakisema inalipa to the maximum of 500,000, but pia hapa tumeona that is iliweza kulipia huyu mtoto, na pia walisha wakajitolea, na pia ninajua hata hii 450 ambao wanatafuta bado wataweza kuipata. So it shows you that something needs to be done. They should sit down and address this issue, because the system itself is a good one.
Okay, and let's dive into politics. That is page 1 of the Daily Nation. I can see I make up Sifuna. And they say Sifuna camps battles Gachagwa's project tag. And they say that Kenya Moja Alliance, led by the ODM Secretary General, that is Edwin Sifuna, has now attacked impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for labeling other opposition leaders at state projects. That story is on page 6. Let's check it out. And they say that Sifuna faults Gachagua over divisive divisive talk, and then anasema that he says the opposition risk disintegrating as a result of divisive utterances of the ex-deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua. And anasema that the nascent Kenya Moja Alliance, led by the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, yesterday hit out at former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for labeling other opposition leaders as state projects. And alisema hapa, they say that speaking on to the nation, Mr. Sifuna said opposition risks are disintegrating as a result of the divisive talk and utterances by some of its leaders who he said are keen to isolate others for their selfish political ambitions. And he said the focus of the opposition should be to rally behind the broader agenda of denying President William Ruto a second term. So that should be the focus according to him. That is what he said. And in addition to that, I can see alisema that as young leaders, we are extremely disappointed by some of the pronouncement coming from sections of the united opposition. A vast majority of Kenyans want Ruto as to be a one-term president. No one wants a Ruto gone more than the other. That is what he said. And then bado akasema he added some of us were singing Ruto must go, that is in 2023, when Gachagua was still with Ruto. So, when did he become the sole custodian of one of the one-term movement? What we need is a language that will unite all the forces of good to secure our future, not divisive mole hunting. So it feels like he's questioning Gachagua being part of the one-term movement. Yeah. And then happens Pia, I can see here they're saying that I can see bado now this is a statement from Mr. Malala, and they're saying that Mr. Malala claimed Jubilee was working with President Ruto's camp to divide Mount Kenya, a region where Mr. Gachagua has been working to consolidate support since leaving government. That is according to Mr. Malala. And he suggested that I don't come from the mountain, and thus I can speak and in the evening go back in Kakamega and eat my ugali. That party, into quotes, that is Jubilee, must be warned not to cause chaos if they are indeed part of the united opposition. That is according to him. And from that, he suggested that Jubilee had aligned itself with Dr. Ruto's, that is UDA, citing what he termed as symbolic red wheelbarrows being unveiled, that is Mount Kenya. Akasema if you want to work with Kasongo, that is according to him, if you want to work with Kasongo, into quote, that is our President Ruto, and have been sent with the red wheelbarrow, this is not a party that wants good for a party. That is according to Mr. Malala. And akasema that he mentioned a lot of things that I don't think we can read zote, but those are some of what of their perspectives when it comes to politics. Yeah.
Unajua those wale watu ambao wanafaa that is waende ama wajitolee zaidi ni watu ambao wako opposition.
Yeah, I agree.
Because those who are in government, they're already in government.
Yeah.
They have all the state machineries, they have everything that they need. So to them, what they need is just a re-election. So to them, in terms of issues to do with economic issues, how to struggle. In terms of any network, how they can't struggle. In case of anything else, they can't struggle. But our opposition, they will what a struggle zaidi, because in terms of finances, ways wa compare na wale wako in government. Wale wako in government, they don't need any, especially for example, kama zile meetings ambazo tumekuwa tukiona pale, they don't need permission. Kwa sababu already wako in government. So inamaanisha they can do public rallies, they can do meetings wherever they want. But our opposition, it means that they have to go certain procedures in order for them to be able now to reach out to the people. So the more they keep fighting themselves, among themselves, the more pia an opportunity ambayo that is the opponent ambao nao ni wale wako government wanapatana. Because hao watu wanaongea lugha moja ambao wanaongea pale. And but at the same time unakuta kuna zile internal fights ambao ziko pale. But the issue is kuna wale ambao nao wamekuwa kibobea kwenye siasa. Akina the likes of former vice president, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, that is Rigathi Gachagua na wale wengine wamekuwa kibobea kwenye siasa. Nao tumekuwa tukiona nao kuna another crop that is imekuwa ikikuja of the young people, wakiongozwa na Babu Owino, wakiongozwa na Edwin Sifuna, wakiongozwa na wale wengine ambao wamekuwa kijitokeza. So it means that the ideology will differ. The way they see, the way hawa wanaangalia na ile tax ambayo hawa wamezoea kufanya itadifa, kwa sababu hawa wanaangalia mtazamo tofauti. Because ukiangalia now, like for example, the former deputy president cannot understand how you can fight government when you're inside the government. To him, because now hiyo ndio the old ideology ambayo amekuwa kutumia na the old system ambayo amekutumia. That's unaona hata akiona kina Edwin Sifuna wakikuja, that is criticize the government, anasema hawa ni molo wa government. Because to him he doesn't understand, because the only style that he knows, if whenever you want to fight the government you must be outside. And that's why when he was in government, yeye hangeweza kufight it. Na hangeweza kufanya anything else despite of all the mistake ambazo aliweza kuziona pale. But wakati alikuwa in pitch, sasa akiwa the other side, sasa ndio ameanza kufanya nini? Kuifight. So what he needs now to understand is that the tactics may change, mambo yame change, and now pia watu hawaangalii kuongea sana, wanaangalia ni method gani ambayo mtatumia ili kuweza kuachieve the goal that you need to achieve. At the same time, if people now wamekuwa attracted with the song that you're singing, wewe welcome. Wacha kuwa pull them out. Yani ionekane ni kama wewe tu ndio the only that is a choir master that is there. Welcome the other people. Kuna mwingine atakuja na soprano, mwingine atakuja na bass, mwingine atakuja na nini na zile vitu zingine ambazo zinaitwa, na itakuwa complete band ambayo itakuwa pale. Otherwise ukicheza tu, ukitaka kucheza peke yako, utafika mahali utahitaji kuna ile sound kazuri kanachezao kwa wale watu wa bass guitar. Utakakosa kwa sababu wewe hujui. Wakati utahitaji mtu wa drum set utakosa kwa sababu wote uliweza kuwafukuza. So he need really to understand that things have changed, the tactics zime change, na wanahitaji kuleta watu wote on board. Na si kila wakati kushinda ukicriticize. Tuliona sasa kama that is a Cleophas Malala criticize Jubilee, ati sasa ndio imekuwa na red, that is a wheelbarrow ambayo imekuwa pale. Hao wamesahau that is yeye pamoja na Rigathi, hao ndio waliform the yellow wheelbarrow ambayo ilikuwa pale. So hao in fact ndio wanafaa kuwe tainted. So what it shows that is that hiyo cheche ya maneno ambao wanajaribu kutain, it will not help, because wakisambaratika vile ambavyo wamesambaratika, they will not be able to achieve the goal ambao that is ile goal ambao ama ile wimbo ambao wanashinda wakiimba kila siku.
But at some point, can we say that probably the DCP is right? Because honestly speaking, Mr. Kimotho, do you feel like that is the former Prime Minister, that is Raila Odinga, since he joined the government and the broad-based government, okay, has he been effective enough as an opposition leader? He has not.
The same question we can ask him. When he was in government and alikuwa anaona hizo mistakes zikifanyika, what did he do? Because kama angekuwa that is a leader enough, ange resign. But yeye alikaa pale hadi kafanywa impeachment. So it shows you that kila mtu kuna certain interest ambazo wako nazo pale. What the politicians do, wanakujaga in public, that is to bring confusion to the people. Just trying to show that we are together but we are not together.
With the people?
Yes, we are just trying to come and show you that we are together, but at the end of the day pale we are not together, because kuna ile certain interest ambayo kila mtu ako nayo pale. That is all over. Hiyo ndio mambo ambayo inafanyika pale. So hata kama saizi that is tuliona the energy ambayo the former deputy president alikuwa nayo ni kwa sababu ya ile kitu ambayo ilifanywa impeachment. What if the courts today say ya kwamba impeachment yake ambayo ilifanywa kwa njia ambayo is just an example. I'm just trying to air out, because kesi bado iko kule kotini, haja withdraw, bado kesi iko kule kotini, so which means bado anatafuta ile haki yake. What if haki yake leo iende ipitishe ya kwamba anafaa arudishe kitini, will he still be doing the same thing ambayo anafanya nini, ambayo ana criticize saizi? So those are some of the questions that even if pia wanajaribu kufight wale wengine, pia ni maswala ambayo pia Wakenya pia nao wanafaa kaa pale waweza kuangalia. And it's also high time that we should now change the narrative ambao the politicians wanakuja now. Let us now change. Wacha wakuje nao wakute ya kwamba sisi kama wananchi pia na sisi tuko na mwelekeo wetu ambao tuko nayo. That is the only way that is going out to help us.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is politics. Kama wewe mwananchi, would really want to hear maoni yako ni yapi, please do to us on 0799 200 100, or you can opt to use that in the social media handles, that is on Facebook and YouTube at Mizpah Tv Kenya, hashtag NURU Current Affairs. And away from that, you have something else?
Register as voters, Gen Z. Next revolution will be on the ballot. I think every time ama every session ambayo tuko nayo, tunazungumzia hii masuala ya watu kuregister as voter. Because usiporegister, hata ushinde pale ukipiga kelele, ukicomplain, ukiandika kwa social media, ukichora makatunza unachora, if you're not registered kama as a voter, it will not help. Na wewe ndio baadhi ya watu ambao wanarudisha our nation nyuma, because the democracy of changes ambao tunataka kulingana na katiba tumepewa during now the election day. If you are complaining the road sio mzuri, if you are complaining ya kwamba hospitali hazina madawa, if you are complaining of SHA, if you are complaining of anything that you are complaining, na yet wewe mwenyewe hujaregister as that is a kule kwa IBC, it means that you are making a very big mistake, because inamaanisha pia una deny wale watu wengine ambao pia wanataka kufanya some changes, because unajua kura moja is a very key factor, because pia kuna some of the MCAs ambao waliingia na kuna kadhaa ambao walishinda. In fact kuna mmoja alikuwa mshindi na kura moja. So kuna mwingine alikuwa na kura chache sana ambazo zilikuwa pale. Even the difference ya that is zile presidential, that is election votes hazikuwa mingi sana. So it shows you that kuna power whenever hiyo siku inafika. And you can imagine your 10 minutes ambao unatumia pale ina bring positive or negative effect in the 5 coming years ambazo zitakuwa pale. So nikiangalia hapa every day tunaona that is kuna leaders, kuna so many others ambao wanajitokeza na wanasema now the Gen Z now they need now to come out clear and do the same thing. Na pia ukiangalia now what is happening, nilikuwa ninafikiria even maybe for example upande wa opposition, just an example, pengine wangeacha hii cheche yote ambao wanafanya, wakuwe na kitu ambayo inaitwa mass, that is civic education, ya kuweza kumobilize vijana waweze that is waende wa register kwa IBC as voters. Tungekuwa tukitaka maybe for example initiative maybe even from the government itself, hizi program ambao wanafanya kwa hizo rallies ambazo zinakuwa pale, kungekuwa hata na hema ya IBC kuweza kufanya pale, but we are not seeing that rolling out. I don't know kama kutakuwa na time nyingine ambayo watapeana, but now it all depends with the parliament vile ambavyo watapitisha. But it shows you that kuna issue ambayo iko pale, because hata ukiangalia kwa local televisions ambao tunaona pale, unakuta county imeregister watu kama 2 4, a whole county. So you wonder now what is happening. Ukiangalia wakati wa demonstration ulikuwa unakuta kuna watu wengi ambao walikuwa pale kwa street. So it shows you that something needs to be done. Kama kuna mtu ako pale na huja register, kindly just go and register, make sure kuna hiyo voting card ambayo uko nayo. Make sure hiyo opportunity usiweze kupoteza, kwa sababu even if you keep complaining it will not help you until now you do now the actual thing ambayo umepatiwa. And this is the time period, this is the only window ambayo that is imeweza kupatiwa that is kipaumbele for now. Tena tusifikie pale wakati wa mwisho tuanze kusema tuongezewe time. Hii kulingana na vile ambayo imekuwa scheduled, time yake ikifika imefika hapo, kwa sababu we need also to give the IBC proper timing, kwa sababu wakati wana register ni watu lazima waende wafanye ile verification of a register, watoe wale ambao maybe sasa waliweza kuaga, watoe waze sasa kufanya mambo kadhaa ambayo inafaa pale, ndio kukue na kitu tunaita a clean register, ikuwe prepared before the coming forth of the election.
One vote matters, right? And change cannot happen without action.
Yes.
And another story that is when it comes to the education sector, page 7, I can see they say that unemployed teachers set for jobs abroad in TIC plan. I don't know if this is a good thing. They see what they're saying about it. They say that hundreds of thousands of unemployed teachers are being targeted for jobs beyond Kenya's borders as TSC, that the Teachers Service Commission, rolls out a policy framework and guidelines of teachers' engagement in international teaching jobs. And they say that the policy framework and guidelines for teachers' engagement outside Kenya seeks to open up global opportunities for qualified teachers, address a rising employment in education sector, and position Kenya as key source of professional educators worldwide. This is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And in addition to say that, I want to say that according to the TSC data, over 714,000 teachers have been registered by the commission. Of these, by the commission, and then they say of these, only about 400 teachers are employed on permanent and pensionable terms, leaving nearly half without stable jobs. And then they say, ironically, the country still faces a teachers shortage for more than 130,000 teachers. Na unajua kuna wenye wayuko employed, but ironically tuko na shortage ya teachers.
Yeah.
That's an irony, right? And it shows there is something that needs to be done. Yeah.
Unajua, the reason as to why we normally have reports, so that the reports can really help us in in the coming financial year on how to arrange ourselves.
Yeah.
Now that's why now the kila ministry iko na mpango yake. So also now the Ministry of Education, they need now to strike that balance, because unaona pia kuna so many other teachers, kuna wale wanahitaji promotion, kuna wale wanahitaji kuajiriwa, kuna deficit ya walimu ambao wako nayo. Ukiangalia pia in our public schools watoto wako wengi sana. So it means that if you also need to improve the quality of the education to our children, it means that we also need to come with mechanism ambazo pia hazileti ile heavy burden, because you can imagine a teacher ambaye ako na watoto 80 in one class. So how do you expect that teacher ya kwamba kuna improvement ambayo atafanya considering another school ambayo one teacher akona watoto 30 pale. So inamaanisha definitely the results pale zitakuwa na utofauti pale, itakuwa na so many other things ambazo ziko pale. So it means that they need now to come up with a good thing, so that now is situation ikue cleared once and for all.
And they think that this framework is not just employment strategy, but comprehensive approach to professional development, that is still cultural exchange and international cooperation. It provides a structured pathway for Kenyan teachers to represent the country on the global stage and contribute to international education. That statement came from, that is the TSC chairperson, Dr. Jemlek Muturi. And wanasema that under the new guidelines, teachers employed on permanent and pensionable terms who choose to work abroad will be required to resign from their current position before taking up international jobs. However, they will be eligible to reapply for TSC positions upon their return, with their overseas experience recognized under the recognition of the Prior Learning 2021 framework.
Yeah.
And still on the education sector, there is a story here. There is something that has been featured here. Wanasema that 11 billion, that is the debt, puts roll out of the grade 10 textbooks at risk. And they say publishers have raised the alarm of unpaid, that is 11 billion, onto them, warning that further delays in settlement of the debt by the government could derail the timely printing and distribution for textbooks of the grade 10 learners ahead of the rollout of the senior school, that is in January 2026. 11 billion, that is a lot. 11.4, yeah.
They need to do something.
Yeah.
Before now your time ifike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because see, they have money. Like
money is there.
MPESA.
Money is there.
Yeah.
And they should now be wafanye kitu tunaita priorities.
Yeah. And I hope they'll do something about that, because at the end of the day, mtu mwenye anaumia ni mzazi na mwanafunzi.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And pia some of these government officers watoto hao hayuko huku. Na watoto hao hata kama wako huku wasomi public schools. So it shows you that they don't feel that kuna ile effect ambayo iko pale. So we are really urging that the Parliamentary Committee of Education should do something on it. Ndio isifike tena Januari waanze kulia, na saizi kuna hiyo time ambayo wanafunzi wako nayo, that is wakifanya mtihani wako na some few months before January ifike. So they should clear those issues.
And still on that, you can see Professor Ogondo told the nation that the KICD evaluated the grade 10 textbook, that is in April, and followed the normal procurement process to award the tenders. And said that publishers incur on cost, and the KICD paid them up on verification of delivery. And the money accumulated since 2023 and 2024, because some subjects were rationalized and the books had to be supplied. He added that the ongoing data verification exercise being carried by the Ministry of Education has also caused delays in payment, since the money is usually released together with capitation for schools. So according to them, they have a reason as to why this 11.4 billion has not been released.
Yes.
Yeah. And From the education sector, you have something? We have 2 minutes.
Yeah, to add on that, most university students are suffering silently. I have, saa kulingana huyo anaitwa Joyce Mulamba, anatoka from Busia. Of late, I've been thinking deeply about the quiet battles most university student faces. Most of us are juggling academics, financial stress, personal relationship, and expectation from home is a heavy, and sadly some of us end up in suffering in silence. So it's also just to add, because pia mambo ya education, that is university, iko category of higher education issues, na tumekuwa tukiona kuna the number of suicide cases ambazo zimekuwa zikitokea among the universities, that is a student, especially mambo ambayo imekuwa ikiongezeka pale, na kuna mambo ambayo yamekuwa yakifanyika because kuna ile expectation ambayo watu wako nayo. Unajua wakati watu wanakuwa ukiwa university pale, kuna expectation ya community iko nayo, kuna zile pressure ambayo the family, the parents and the family at large ambayo iko nayo. So this could be out of a fear of judgment or just not knowing where to turn for help. I believe we need more open conversation around mental health to our campuses. We need safe spaces, access to counseling services, and most importantly, we need each other. If you're struggling, please know that you are not alone. So yeah, you can, kuna kitu ambayo anasema hapa, let's keep checking on one another. As simple, are you okay, could be a lifesaver. So let us not assume, because also unajua ukiwa pale college ama ukiwa university, watu wana expect kuna ile growth of maturity and everything else, but let us check on each other, because pia kuna yale mambo yako pale na watu pia wana suffer when it comes to the issue of academic, financial stress, personal relationship and expectation. Kwanza hapa expectation watu wana suffer sana. Let us also remember ya kwamba Julie had. Yeah.
And that's all that we had today for the current affairs. What do you want to tell the viewers?
Just to wish them a blessed day. Na pia kama uja register kwa IBC, kindly do that. It's very important. Blessed day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in for this week, for this segment that is the current affairs. We're always here to make sure that you stay updated of what is happening, that is in our country and beyond. And also, as we celebrate that is the customer service week, we as Mizpah TV want to say a big thank you to our loyal viewers and partners for your continuous trust and engagement. Feel valued. My name is Angela Kabete. Till next time, may God bless you abundantly. Bye bye.